Just yesterday, as you all know, President Biden informed his G7 counterparts that the United States will support a joint effort to train Ukrainian pilots on fourth-generation fighter aircraft, including F-16s. Over the past few months, we and our allies and partners have really focused on providing Ukraine with the systems, weapon, and training that it needs to be able to conduct effective offensive operations this spring and summer. We have delivered what we promised. We have given Ukraine what it needs based on close consultations between our military and theirs. And now we have turned to discussions about improving the Ukrainian Air Force as part of our long-term commitment to Ukraine's self-defense. So as the training unfolds in the coming months, we will work with our allies to determine when planes will be delivered, who will be delivering them, and how many. As President Biden said, whether in that interview or right around the same time, was we weren't moving forward then, but he also indicated that we were not taking it off the table. Nothing has changed. In fact, our approach to the provision of weapons, material, training to the Ukrainians has followed the exigencies of the conflict. So in the first phase, when Russian forces were bearing down on Kyiv, the key capability they needed were Stingers and Javelins. We provided them. In the second phase, when it was more of a ground fight in the Donbass, the need was artillery and M777's 155 ammunition. As the fight has evolved, the capabilities that we have provided Ukraine have evolved. And what the president was really getting at back in February is that we were in the midst of a massive effort to ensure that Ukraine would have what it needed to be able to launch this counteroffensive this summer. And that was everything from tanks to Bradley fighting vehicles to further HIMARS and artillery ammunition, other capabilities. F-16s are not part of that mix, and the president was indicating that for the purposes of this counteroffensive, the F-16 capabilities compared with everything else I said was not at the top of the list. But now that we have delivered everything we said we were going to deliver, so we put the Ukrainians in a position to make progress on the battlefield through the counteroffensive, we've reached a moment where it is time to look down the road and to say, what is Ukraine going to need as part of a future force to be able to deter and defend against Russian aggression as we go forward? F-16's fourth-generation fighter aircraft are part of that mix. The obvious first step there is to do the training and then to work with allies and partners and the Ukrainians to determine how to do the actual provision of planes as we move forward. So this is part of an approach to providing the necessary equipment to Ukraine based on what we see from a military perspective, from the advice of the military commanders, is required at a given point in time and a given moment in the conflict. And that's why we've arrived at the place we are today.